All right, folks, let's talk about a game changer, literally. If you're a brand or retailer in the outdoor industry, think of Endeavor like the ultimate power-up for your sales game. This platform is designed to level up retail associates, giving them the XP they need to master your gear, sell more, and rack up rewards along the way. It's like a cheat code for better sales, making sure your products don't just sit on the shelves but actually move. Why is this valuable? Well, trained and motivated staff sell way more gear. Brands using Endeavor, like K2 Sports and Smith Optics, have seen better sell-through, stronger brand engagement, and real data insights on what works. And here's where Endeavor gets really interesting. It's gamified. That means learning about products and earning incentives feels fun and not like homework. But there's also a couple of other power-ups you'll want to consider. First is their partnership with Locally, so online shoppers can instantly find a knowledgeable staffer in a nearby store ready to seal the deal. Second is an option known as Freemium, where you can launch brand assets, push newsfeed posts, and coordinate rep clinics. And with Endeavor's pay-as-you-go plans, you can take sales contests, education campaigns, or collect staff insights collection programs all out for a test drive. The bottom line, if your retail game is feeling like it's stuck in easy mode, Endeavor is the upgrade you need to unlock next-level sales, max out your team's knowledge, and beat the boss when it comes to customer experience. Head to Endeavor, that's ENDVR.io, to learn more today. Welcome to the Rock Fight, where we speak our truth, slay sacred cows, and sometimes agree to disagree. This is an outdoor podcast that aims for the head. I'm Colin True, and joining me today, he's here to announce his new favorite baseball team. It's Justin Housman! Who is it? It can't be the Dodgers.
What are you talking
retire
about?
the Dodgers. No, you're out on the Dodgers now. You told me that.
What?
We talked about
What?
it. You know?
Colin, shut the podcast down. There's certain kinds of humor that doesn't work for me, and this is
Well, there's
is
two
it right
things.
now.
Number one, we're recording this on April 1st.
Oh,
you
God! You know what? I will say I completely forgot.
Well, good. Yeah, you're out of the loop on the discourse of the outdoor industry and all the bad posts that went up
Were
today.
there? What? We're still doing.
Yeah,
we're still
there's
doing
a couple
that.
good
We're
ones.
still doing that.
But secondly, like, man, you can't root for the Dodgers. You gotta just move on.
Why?
You
They've
know?
done nothing
Why would you
wrong.
want to root for the Dodgers? Like, they're just like $500 million. They got the freaking, showy of time. Like, fuck them. Fuck, get out of here.
What? Like you're? Do you even have it? You don't care about baseball, but if you
Not
did,
really.
what
I
would
like
your
a
team
lot of
be?
teams
Yeah.
now,
All
but,
of them
like-
can do that. There's no salary cap. They can all do it. They're all owned by billionaires. They didn't do anything
I
wrong.
know, that's true.
Also, you open this can. So what you have to understand is that before the ownership group that owns the Dodgers now owned them, we were owned by the worst owner in baseball, Frank McCourt.
Yeah, you do have a few years to OD still, probably.
And he had like absolutely no money. He was bankrupt.
Yeah.
The whole reason he bought the team was so he could make money off of parking, apparently. So that's what everybody seems to think.
I believe
anyway.
it.
And we couldn't sign anybody. I mean, like Jeff Kent was our biggest star for a couple years. I mean, it was awful.
That's really sad for a team based in Los Angeles.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like, what are you, the Angels? Come
And
on.
so
you know?
when this thing has built up gradually, and it's been done the right way. Believe me, I get it. I know none of this is probably making it into the show. I get it. I totally get it. If you're a baseball fan, I would hate the Dodgers too. But if you are from the inside, you need to realize this has all been done like the right way. Like it's like they haven't been doing anything stupid. They're very thoughtful about it. They don't offer contracts to certain people. They very rarely had a bad one. Trevor Bauer's like the only real bad one. They've done it.
I want to
right
hear
way.
more about the bad owner thing. Is so real in sports. I'm listening to a podcast right now about how, and it came out in 2019, so they're rerunning it about how the Sonics had to leave Seattle.
Yeah.
And you hear the backstory. Number one, like they sold that thing for like $360 million or something ridiculous. Like, the Celtics just sold for $6 billion.
I saw that.
Right?
$6 billion.
It's like,
that's got to be the
and
most any sports team's ever sold for.
It is, but it's also like, 5 years from now, what's like if the Lakers sell, what that could that's gonna be $12 billion,
Honestly,
right?
Lakers,
I mean, it's just going to be
like $100 billion, probably. I don't even know.
Well, no, but I mean, those are the two biggest franchises. I mean, you could probably sell like the Hornets for a couple billion at this point,
easy.
but it's just like the idea that like somebody in Seattle
the Twins are
didn't
for sale. I wonder what they're going to get. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it. Twins are like openly for sale right now.
Are they really
Yeah.
for sale?
I think,
That'd be kind of a cool franchise to own. We should buy the Twins.
I think it's probably more than $10.
I'd wear a Twins hat. I like the Twins.
I played on the Twins when I was in Little League, So they'll always have
The Minnesota Twins?
Well, yeah, I was a stud, dude. I was so good. Plus, in Visalia, at the time, the Visalia Oaks were a minor league affiliate for the Twins. It's like Kirby. I saw Kirby Puckett play a few times.
No way. That's actually pretty cool.
I saw Kirby Puckett play rehabbing from injury. I saw Mark McGuire when he was on the Modesto A's rehabbing from an injury, I think, because he was already kind of a star by then. But I saw a few like big leaguers come through town.
All right, well, Justin will remain a Dodger fan. And today, Justin, the Dodger fan, and I will be talking about a couple of stories that come out of the outdoor community over the past week or so, and also getting into some Q&A stuff. Before we get to any of that, though, if you missed Monday's episode of The Rock Fight, go back to hear outdoor industry insider Owen Comerford and producer Dave and I talk about the implications of a movement in Europe to buy local and boycott U.S. outdoor brands. Come back this Friday, where I'm going to have a conversation with Wild Rise Cassie Abel. We won't be getting into Cassie's life story or Wild Rise origin story. I mean, we might get into some of that. But we're going to be talking about how she thinks we can kick the door in on the outdoor industry's old white guy problem, of which I am absolutely a part of. But Justin, if anyone listening to this wanted to reach out to us, maybe get a little bit more from the Rock Fight universe, what would you recommend they do?
I recommend that they write me a personal check, and send it right to my house, and they can have access to whatever they want. I'll give them our text history. I'll give them I have some screenshots of you doing weird shit that I'll send them.
Like our almost 3-year-old text thread. You would be like, here it is.
Just upload this whole thing. Change your life. That's one thing.
That'd be so sad for them if that would change their life.
You never know, Colin. You can touch people in ways.
We're influential.
Yeah. What were we talking about? Oh yeah. Newsletter. Sign up for it, folks. I haven't read today's because I was busy working, Colin. I was busy at my job.
I know you have a job now. You're all busy and
some
stuff.
of us are grinding. Anyway, newsletter. Sign up for it. You go to our website, rockfight.co. Little banner's going to pop up. It's going to ask you to join the Rock Fight newsletter. You're going to say, yes, please. What if it's taking me so long? You're going to fill all that in there, even though there's no space for it. You're going to type it out anyway on your keyboard because you're going to be so stoked to sign up for the newsletter. And that's the first way. The other way is you can just email us, myrockfight@gmail.com. Colin reads every single one, reads them out loud a lot to his family. They're not interested, but he's walking around the house reading the emails to them. Teenage girl's not super stoked on it, but he does it anyway because he's a dad. You also should follow the podcast on Apple or Spotify or Fountain. Is that the other? What's the other one?
Fountain's one of them.
Fountain?
There's a lot.
Yeah,
there's so many podcast apps.
Yeah, or YouTube.
Sure.
We're on there.
We are.
Just follow us.
Yeah, you can listen to it on YouTube.
Yeah, give us the highest rating you can. 5 stars or 5 thumbs or whatever weird little service you're using. Just give us the highest possible rating, please. Dear God.
All right, our top story today is presented by your hub for ultralight gear, Garage Grown Gear. Head to garagegrowngear.com and check them out today. And first up, per the Trek.co, a popular hike in Arches National Park, the Fiery Furnace Trail. By the way, it's probably a top 10 all-time name, Fiery Furnace Trail.
It doesn't sound particularly enticing, but...
No, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, that trail has been closed indefinitely amid staffing shortages that have come as a result of the Trump administration's staffing cuts. Despite a judge ruling to reinstate many of those cuts, there have been significant delays in getting those things up and running. And Fiery Furnace relies on a permit system for hikers to limit impact to the delicate ecosystem. So for now, because there's no staff to manage it, the trail remains closed. You know, I didn't want to sit here and belabor this and have like a 20-minute conversation because we know how messed up the world is. But this is just, I think, as we're getting closer into springtime and summer, it's like things are going to kind of be fucked up for quite some time to come, probably.
Yeah,
you can't call ahead before you go do anything would be my advice.
I guess I feel like if we're going to talk about this at all, what's the only thing I think that's worth even getting into is like, how do you keep from boiling over into a murderous rage?
Yeah. I don't want to like just like every time another thing happens, we shouldn't be bringing up on the pod. I think we all kind of are pretty aligned about how we feel about it. But, you know.
That would be helpful for people, though, I think. And I don't have an answer because when you sent me this link yesterday, I boiled over into a murderous rage for a long time. And I don't think it went away till I fell asleep.
Did you guys see that on the news? San Francisco yesterday, some dead bodies. That was just
sorry, God, I really need to control myself. But
murderous rage. It's like, Colin sent me a link. What was I supposed to do?
The problem is, like, I think I don't know if we talked about it on the show, but I've been kind of in a semi-news blackout where I'm like,
I have to.
It's not going to do me any good. I'll pay attention to what I need to pay attention to as far as what I need to know for my job. But for the most part, I've kind of like cut out social media, except and my Instagram algorithm is well trained that like it doesn't really feed me political stuff. And so for the most part, I'm only hearing about things when people send me links to them because it's going to be on the podcast. And so it'd been a week or so without me having something to get like boilingly mad about. But I saw this and I got real mad. And I wish I had a good I don't know, recommendation for what to do other than, you can be proactive about this sort of thing. There's very little we can do about the courts. There's very little we can do about the constitutional crisis that is absolutely happening. But what you can do is you can volunteer. What you can do is you can be an advocate. What you can do is you can take that anger and maybe you give to a conservation group like the National Park, Friends Alliance or Conservation Alliance. I guess that's what it's called. Or if you love arches, there's probably like 10 or 15 local nonprofits that just help it out. Donate to them. Like everybody needs this, especially if you're in any way related, tangentially related to the federal funding. You're probably kind of feeling dicey about where your money's coming from. So be proactive, don't get mired in the negative. You can't really fix that. I guess you could go protest there, but frankly, your time would be better spent volunteering or doing something else. Volunteer to get people elected into office that are going to do the right thing. Write a check to your local nonprofit. Like there's things you can do to make you feel better. I promise.
It doesn't even need to be that big, too. I mean, over on the Open Container podcast here on the Rockfight Podcast Network that Doug Schnitzbahn hosts this week, Rochelle Schrute, also friend of the Rockfight. You and I have talked to Rochelle. Yeah. They were talking about conservation on that pod, and one thing she mentioned too is like, look, man, just go pick up some trash.
Really?
You think about all the things you're like, oh, who's going to empty the trash cans? It's not that you have to drive to a national park and empty trash cans, but like if you're in your local park, if you're on your local trail, like just bend over, pick up the trash, do little things, like do the things that help keep the places you love, clean and I don't know, and usable. It'll make you feel better, and you're doing something good. It's just a little thing. To your point, just take the action in that way as a good.
I think we can kill them with kindness. I think we can. First of all, almost nothing feels better than picking up garbage. Like if you just see like a random thing on the street and you're like, this shouldn't be here. Like we pick it up and it's like you break out of this weird funk or Matrix level like blinders thing where you're like, I can't touch garbage. That's not what I do.
Like, I just made something better.
Yeah, it's just, oh God, it feels good.
Well, that was going on. There was also a story in Gear Junkie about, the campgrounds, especially like in the Smokies, which I didn't know the Smokies was the most visited national park. I don't know how I didn't know that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that.
Which actually makes sense.
Well, where it is.
I get it. And Tennessee has some incredible, stuff in their mountains. So like that makes sense. But it's just these stories are going to continue to come. These things are going to continue to happen. Call ahead if you have reservations, or make sure you're dialed up. Your plans are dialed in before you leave for anywhere. And like Justin said, take some action in your community and make you feel better.
Yeah, I promise.
Second story, according to the Inertia, there was some brand drama in the surf world last week as surf brand Lost filed a lawsuit against Lady Gaga for trademark infringement. Did you see this?
I did when somehow I hadn't seen this until you put it on here.
This was the second murderous rage. Lady Gaga's new album is called Mayhem, which is also the nickname of Lost boardmaker. Is it Biolis? Yeah. Oh, I got that right. All right. And they claim they've had trademarks on the Mayhem name dating back to 2015. I brought this up because I want the surfer inside scoop. I mean, this seems pretty stupid. If you look at right? I mean, if Lady Gaga was supporting her new album with like a line of Mayhem surfboards, and I'd be like, all right, yeah, come on, you can't do that. It's the title of her album. Like, where is the conflict here?
The other thing that is like, so Lost, okay.
Ellipsis Lost.
Yeah, which fuck off with that. Like, God, I hate that's so obnoxious.
I thought it was a typo when I first saw them.
They're huge.
That can't be right.
Huge. Like, honestly, they're probably the number 2 board maker in the world.
Oh, wow.
They're huge, or at least most respected,
So they want that Gaga money is what they're doing.
Dude, Matt Bayless is rich as hell. He's also super cantankerous. Like, he makes real good surfboards, and he's real smart. Cantankerous dude, though. And
okay.
And the thing I've also never understood is it's Lost surfboards, but it's also Mayhem, and it's never made sense. Weird. The design language has never made sense. Lost has always been like written in this kind of weirdly dumb, like kind of graffiti, cartoony font, and then Mayhem is like that old English kind of like dripping kind of thing. And it's I don't understand what you're doing. You don't make boards that aren't Mayhem. They're all Mayhem.
Yeah, all the boards.
What are you
Mayhem,
doing?
Yeah.
That's
his nickname, right? Isn't that the thing?
But then why is it called Lost?
But is this a surf? Does this happen in the surf world? Or
I have never heard of
something
like this happening before. This is wild to me. I mean, how many times? I mean, there must be things called Lost. Did he sue the show? He was around before the show was. Right. Like, was there a cease and desist to like NBC
call, like,
or whatever?
Hey man, we had Lost first.
Wild to me. It's it's funny that this comes up because just yesterday I saw a truck with a tailgate pad for mountain bikes with the Backcountry logo, and I was like, oh yeah, Backcountry. I kind of forgot all about Backcountry, and then I just you can't think about Backcountry now without thinking about that idiotic lawsuit. And like to me,
on the wait,
remember when
Backcountry.com?
Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about? When they sued like every place in the
they served all the specialty retailers.
The reason that nobody buys their shit anymore.
Yes,
remember that?
Of course.
The gigantic.
Wow, I know all that. We've talked about that here on the podcast.
Gigantic misstep they took. Like
yes,
it's the same thing. It's like it's not the same thing because there's not really. If you want a Lost surfboard, you want a Lost surfboard.
But if you know, and you know about that lawsuit, you see the goat, and you think like, oh yeah, you're the guys who tried to fuck over all those independent retailers.
The only thing I can think of is two things. One, just like really aggressive lawyers, and he's like, I don't care, whatever, sure, like signed. They're like, hey, we saw this, okay, sure, and just signs it off.
They'll probably settle just to go for it.
Yeah, or like, I might be talking out of turn. I suspect Bialas is a pretty hardcore Elon Trump dude. I could be way off there, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like he kind of leans that direction, it seems like, and like Lady Gaga is very much not. So maybe he just hates Lady Gaga.
Yeah, right.
Or I don't know. But he hates her music. I don't know. But I also know that he's the kind of owner who wouldn't like. He definitely had that. He's behind that. It's not like, he doesn't know that's happening. So he's very protective of his brand.
On his behalf. It's just lame. Come on, man. It's Lady Gaga. Of course, now we're probably gonna get sued because we called it lame, and he's cantankerous.
But, maybe. Libel. Right. Yeah, it could be some libel. You know what? Never owned a Lost surfboard, which is kind of shocking to me.
We'll send us each someone. We'll surf them. We'll review them on the podcast. There you go.
Sure. Matt, I'm sure. What? Honestly, probably will hear this. I wouldn't be surprised. He's that kind of guy that I would like. He would get back to him and he'd have an opinion about it.
Or get back to somebody who will hear it and send it to him.
Yeah.
All right. Last thing before we get into something else here. According to GearJunkie.com, Justin, there's a pop-up camper now available for the Cybertruck. Released by Colorado's Phoenix Pop-Up Campers, another reason we can make fun of Colorado now. With an MSRP of about $60,000, the new pop-up features sleeping for four, a spacious dinette, a 20-pound propane tank, 20 gallons of water storage, and a 6-gallon water heater.
You think it's called Phoenix because it's like rising up?
Because they make pop-up campers and they're rising.
Yeah, like the pop-up campers rising, so it's Phoenix. Like,
sure,
you're in Colorado.
Maybe.
If your brand is called Phoenix, something's weird. It's got to be that, right?
It can't be related to the city in
it makes no sense.
Arizona. That'd be bizarre.
Yeah, it's got to be something to do with because like isn't that what the Phoenix comes out of the fire? It rises up out of the fire.
And it rises. Yeah, it rises from the ashes.
Maybe you have to light the camper up, pop up on fire before it will move up.
But do we have to boycott Phoenix pop-up campers too for even making a pop-up camper for the
That's a really good question.
Cybertruck?
But here's the thing though: are like if you were like, oh. Well, one, if it's for the Cybertruck, the owners aren't going to care about build quality or whether it makes any sense or serves any actual purpose. That's right. So you got to the audience is pretty like much a pushover. So you could kind of just sell anything you want, and they're going to be like, "Cool, this works." Are they even going to go camping? Doubtful. I mean, they're doubtful.
Well, that's why I wonder if this is a worthy investment on Phoenix's part, because like how many people owning a Cybertruck are really like, I need a pop-up camper.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They probably 3D print something for $500 and they charge them $60,000. I mean, they pull an Elon on this one. I think it's a probably a really smart business call.
Here's a question for you. Are you looking at it? Are you looking at the?
I'm going to now.
Check
though.
out.
All right, let's have a
open it up. I want to see. Does this actually improve the look of the Cybertruck?
Oh. Well, it's a rendering, so it's vaporware until I know for sure it's real. Oh, okay, there's a real one.
Yeah, I thought there was a real one in there.
Wow, that is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Look at that, folks. Look at this. Google it.
I'll link it in the show notes.
Oh my God, dude. I mean, with the camper part up, I guess it's kind of whatever. But like, can you imagine? I mean, I didn't think you could make this thing look worse or lamer, but they did it. They figured it out. Wow, that's hideous.
How do you feel about pop-up campers in general?
I'm so over it. Like,
wouldn't you rather have one of those than like tow something though? Like a pop-up camper? No.
Yeah. You know what I'd rather do is just use my giant, really nice tent.
This is what my wife is really wants to get a trailer, and I'm like, no. Like, I just want to. I'll go sleep in a tent. Or a hotel. I'm good.
I don't like have an aversion to them like instinctually or anything like that, but I'm not ready for that sort of thing yet. I don't want to tow something. I don't want to like park it. I don't want to own something else that costs thousands of dollars that I'm going to use 5 times a year. Like, no. Tents are great.
If it was just me,
my Nemo tent is very nice and very big, and at no point have I been like, I wish this was like more luxurious. I like camping.
Yeah, that's true. You really are camping. I do think if it was just
you
me,
hate camping.
and
I forgot you hate camping.
I'm not a huge camper,
but
just a pickup truck with like the pop up in the back, and it was like just me and like the dog, or like me and my wife, or whatever. Like I could see you could probably talk me into that.
There's lots of reasons why they suck. A friend of mine right now has one from a very famous, very reputable brand that is like as cool as it gets, and he hates it. He's actually selling his truck entirely to buy he has a Maverick, and he's selling it because he's like, I'm just going to buy a full-size truck and put a regular fiberglass shell on it because I can actually sleep in the back of that without worrying about it. And like, I hate this pop-up camper thing.
Well, the Maverick's pretty small. I don't think I'd want to get a pop-up camper.
His pop-up camper's super nice. He just is like, it makes no, there's so many things that suck about them. So many things. Yeah. Like, for example, say you're driving this monstrosity around and you put up your this is basically like a metal frame, I guess, foundation for what looks to be like a normal sort of synthetic tent above it. You know what happens? You park that somewhere and it's dewy, and then you wake up in the morning, you'd like to go somewhere. What are you going to do? Yeah. You got to wait till it dries out, or else you collapse the whole thing down. Now it's rotting in its own moisture. And like, it's the worst.
That's the thing, really? You can't collapse it when it's wet?
Well, you can, but it's like putting a wet tent away. It's the worst thing you could possibly do.
Well, then you can dry it out later.
Then you got to like go home and like lift your pop-up camper up and just leave it parked in your driveway till it dries. It's insane. That's why I stopped using rooftop tents. They're horrible.
You know, it's pretty good. Hotels are pretty good.
Just a tent, dude. Get a nice tent.
Or just
you have a $150,000 piece of shit truck. Just buy a really nice Hilleberg tent or that Nemo tent that I love. Pay somebody to put it up for you if you're that lazy.
Well, if you're listening to this and you have a Cybertruck,
you're not. Get out
surprised.
Of here. Yeah,
I'm surprised. But if you are, well, you can get a pop up now. $60K. Go camping with your Cybertruck.
It's 60. Wait, hold. I'm sorry. It's $60,000.
Yeah, didn't it say they are 59,900?
I didn't look at that.
What it said?
This is the.
Did you find it?
What? I'm sorry. Why is it $60,000? This is like a $5,000 pop-up camper, like you could get
starting
anywhere.
MSRP for the Cyber Phoenix slide-in truck camper is $59,900.
Wow.
Probably
so you could buy this
because they know they're only going to sell 2 of them,
or like the most high-end Tacoma, like in the possible. You could buy this or a Land Cruiser.
Now you're getting into the whole van life thing when it's like, hey, $400,000 for this built-out van, or you could buy a home somewhere,
or every time you want to go camping or into the somewhere beautiful, $1,000 a night on the nicest hotel within 50 miles for the rest of your damn life.
For the rest of your life.
Wow. This is I normally would feel a little bad, but this is that hideously.
No,
bad.
there is nothing to feel bad about when it comes to the Cybertruck. No, not at all. It's a blight on humanity. But so I think I do kind of hope if we do see a fair amount of Cybertrucks down here in Southern California. So I'm kind of hoping I see one with one of these things on the back of it. I will definitely point and giggle.
There are times where I see one and I'm like, it's just so different that I'm like I'm a contrarian by nature, so I'm like kind of attracted to the idea of having something that's so just bizarre. But
then you really
like,
do you feel that way?
No.
Yeah, they're Anyway,
wow, $60,000.
All right, everyone, going ultralight with your backpacking setup isn't all about overhauling your big 3 gear items. Often the joy of reducing your pack weight is in the addition, the subtraction, or substitution of smaller accessory items. From bottle cap bidets, endorsed by Shantae Salabear, and ultralight sit pads to toothpaste tabs and Dyneema food bags, GGG, that's garage-grown gear. Did I mispronounce something?
There's Dyneema food bags now?
Dude, I think there's Dyneema things for everything. Dyneema makes it. It's all out there. Dyneema is the
it's probably weighs less
technology of
than
the 21st
Dyneema
century.
is plastic Ziploc bag that you can just use more every single time.
Even now you're stepping on their sales. They want to sell these Dyneema food bags. So
Do they though? Oh, sorry about that, Lloyd.
GGG has hundreds of ultralight accessories to pique your outdoorsy interest. Check out the link in the show notes. Head to garagegrowngear.com and check out all the accessories that they have over there. They got a lot. It's great.
I just want to give a little shout out to this new small brand called Parapack Hats. They reached out to me on LinkedIn a little while back.
No free ads.
Hold on now. They asked if I wanted to check out their stuff. I did, and they make these like epic little hats that fold up like little fortune cookies. They get so small and they're super lightweight, and I feel like they do really well at Lloyd's Garage Grown Gear. It's like almost like a running cap kind of thing. Like, is it a? Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But there's
is it made out of Dyneema?
No. At least if it,
well, I don't know if they've ever shot at Garage Grown.
No, they're just badass little hats. I'm just stoked on them, but they're cool.
What's it called?
Paracap or Parapack. Parapack. But you could literally fold the hat up and put it in your pocket, and it like snaps together. It's neat. It's a really cool little system for these like ultra lightweight
innovation.
hats.
Innovation's back. I love it. That's great.
Just wanted to mention it.
All right, the next part of the podcast is presented by Obos, who loves hiking and wants us all to talk more about hiking. You know, it's the activity that we all do, but no one talks about. So we're going to count the ways we love hiking in a minute. But, first of all, so this thing, it's a bit of it's a kind of a Q&A corner, but we get pretty deep in the outdoor industry and community here in the Rock Fight. But there's a recent post that was on Reddit, and it gave me pause and made me reflect on a few things. So if you go over on the outdoor subreddit, that's user time_2_rant, so time to rant, wrote a post titled, "I want to go outside more, but I don't know what to do there."
You and me both, buddy.
Yeah. So I just loved this so much. And I'm not making fun of this person at all. I think this is a reminder to those of us who do this stuff all the time, right? So this person writes on Reddit, "I'm not an outdoors person. I don't really want to go on some sort of walk or hike, but whenever I walk to my car to go run some errands or go to an indoor event, I see how nice it is outside. I wish I had some sort of backyard so I can at least just sit out there. I live in an apartment, and we do have a shared outside space, but it's very small and pretty awkward to just sit there. It's right by everyone's cars, so they'll pull up and I'm just there on a chair. What should I do?" I just love the vision in my head.
Me too.
I've done things like walk to the local coffee shop and ice cream shops, but I don't want to keep buying things just to step outside. I also don't really want to walk around my area too much because I don't want someone to watch me and track down where I live. I'm considering driving to a park and then walking around, or maybe just going to whatever coffee shops I already go to, but sitting outside instead of inside. Any other ideas?" And then they added an update. "I went to a coffee shop that is modeled after a shed, and I'm sitting outside drinking hot tea. It's chilly, but feels so good. I'm going to do some reading, journaling, and perhaps bird watching." So I'm not suggesting that anyone listening to this would be in the same position as the person who wrote this, but I think it's a good reminder for those of us who do go outside that not everyone knows what you know about the outdoors. And this is where we can be, I don't know if gatekeeping is the right word, but kind of like where we, let's say we can be like, we have like, oh, the hardcore this and we're doing that. And it's just like, hey, there are people who really just can't even connect the dots about how to do even a tenth of the shit that we do. So how do we help them out,
This makes me think of, I'm sure I've talked about on the show before, but my like great awakening when I stopped getting annoyed at people with music in the back. That's not true. I generally am annoyed for the most part with people with music in the backcountry. It was this particular instance where I was like, "Oh, I'm not mad at."
Yeah, it was at a lake or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not mad at these people. Like generally speaking, I don't like the idea. But it was, where some I don't even. Granted, for all I know, they went out there every goddamn day. I don't know. I just decided in my head because I couldn't see them. They're on the other side of this like big like rock thing behind me that they don't really go outside very often, and they makes them feel like comfortable. Right. And like that's the kind of this to me, this person is probably right around that same kind of thing, right? Where it's like, if to get this person to actually go camping, think about all the like comforts they'd have to bring with them, Right. And like, it might annoy me and you for whatever reason, we snicker as we like pass them in our lightweight gear, whatever. But like in so many ways, people like when you think about it, this kind of thing like takes, what an awesome place to be mentally, where you're like, I know I like being outside. I don't know anything about it. I'm a little wary about just walking in my neighborhood. Probably not a great neighborhood. And but I feel this pull to be outside. Like, what a cool.
Yeah, and we would say go for a hike. And they're like, I don't really want to go for a hike.
Probably don't live anywhere where they could. You know, like
Right.
they have no
Right.
frame of reference. Like the context makes no sense. Like it's kind of neat. Like in some ways you're like, whoa, you have like a whole world to discover. Like you might go to the whatever park you have, sit out there long enough to like work up the courage to like go somewhere else, and you're like, okay, and eventually you're like leading backcountry trips. That's how it happens. It's awesome. I love this person so much.
Right, and they're on the right path by their updates, like the reading, journaling, and perhaps bird watching.
Little day, by the way, sitting outside, like drinking hot tea, like at a coffee shop, just being like, "This is great."
It's chilly, but it feels so good. Like that, I know that feeling.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I adore this person, and I wish I could meet them.
I'm glad you brought the thing about the speakers and I know that's a huge bugaboo, and there are definitely times when people go by with the speakers where I am annoyed to all hell. But there are definitely other times when I have passed someone who you can just tell they don't know that they're doing something wrong, right? And yes, it seems so obvious to me that like, why would you do that? Yeah. You're clearly disturbing other people. But those are the same people who have the music player and they're like, hey, what's up, man? You having a good ride? Like they're so jovial when you pass them, and I'm like, all right, yeah, man, that's cool. There was another time. It's a state park kind of east of where I live. There's this really cool exposed rock kind of summit mountain, and it's like a really pretty easy climb up. Yeah. But we got up to the top on a sunset hike, my kids and I, and we got up to the top, and there was a local sort of San Diego hiking group who were all up there, and they're playing music, and they're drinking hard kombucha, and they're all like, and as we get to the top, they're like cheering for us, and I'm like, awesome. There's so many things, and under a microscope that I would complain bitterly about what these people are doing, but it was great, and my kids thought it was cool, and it made hiking more fun in that moment. So, yes, as a general rule, like I am not down with the speakers in the backcountry, but there are moments where you have to kind of, hey, put yourself in the shoes of the people you're coming up against too. And it could be someone like this who maybe hasn't having that first experience. If they go from the I don't know what to do outside to now maybe they're with that group I saw like on top of a mountain. What a journey that person had gone on. For sure. Right? So
I love so much this line here. I'm considering driving to a park. I'm thinking about it. I don't want to commit. I don't want to commit to this.
I'm not laughing at them.
No, not at all. I'm like the like earnestness about this is awesome. I'm considering driving to a park and then walking around, or maybe just going to whatever coffee shops I already go to, but sitting outside instead of inside. Like, just the like they're excited about the idea of maybe sitting outside of a coffee shop. Like that is so pure and wonderful. And God, I wish I could get to that point. I guess we all kind of like. Well, today at my office, I was like, oh, there's like a rooftop terrace next door. I'm gonna go check it out. You know, it's like that's not that different than what this person was doing. And I like probably just a little more joy to like eat my lunch outside rather than inside. But God. Yeah, I love what I love. It's just, this is also written really well. Like this person's really like clearly a reader and is like really thoughtful, and it's just like an earnest, pure like joy to this that it's just really endearing. This is great.
I just feel like there's always that sort of we're either so hard one way or the other in the outdoor community where it's like you could look at this and be like, I don't know, this person doesn't get it. Yeah. You could look at this and be like, I don't know. I don't know. I just know that there's certain levels of judgment to somebody who would write something like this from the outdoorsy community.
Yeah, of course.
And it's like, I just think it's a really good reminder that not everyone wants to do what you want to do, or if you want to be, or even at a not even hardcore, like even if just like on a hiking level, kind of a more basic level. And so like to kind of see somebody putting themselves out there too and just legitimately asking for advice. Now, I didn't spend that much time going through and reading the responses.
I didn't either.
Yeah, let's do that right now, actually. Hold on. I still have it up here.
They're all good. None of them are making fun of nobody's making fun of this person. I like it. Someone suggests gardening.
Yeah, this was a good response. I'll look at Google or Apple Maps for things near me that look interesting, green spaces, river streams, lakes, parks, hills, etc. And then I'll either bike or walk to them and explore. Almost always it's a win. Just getting outside is the key. I almost always find something interesting once I leave the house. Yeah, go for a bike ride. Yeah, there's so many just really, it's all like 99% encouraging. Yeah. Make a hobby out of it. Play a game like Pokemon Go. Like,
remember that? That was, what a good answer. Right? That's great. Yeah. I forgot about that. Remember when that was a thing? You'd be like, well, who are all these random people in this park right now?
Just walking around. Or like others, I said, pick up birding, just some ideas, good luck, outside is good. And then the original post wrote, thanks, and yeah, I'm excited. Like, that's just great.
Totally. Like, you want to high five this person. I'll also say that this kind of thing takes so much more courage than like someone who's already like super fit and outdoorsy going, I'm going to climb Mount Rainier. You know, it's like, well, of course you are.
Well, and the brands too, like, you know, and I understand, you know, you have to tell a broader message to a lot of people, but it's like, hey, don't forget that there are people like this out here. And I've always thought that that's a missed opportunity for someone to be like, hey, this is who you want to attract. Not everyone's born like, you know, most people don't come out being like fully formed in how they go outside.
Absolutely.
So, this is a good one.
Yeah, that's really good.
But we gotta get more, I think, Reddit questions here on the show.
I totally agree. I never think to look at the Reddit Outdoors subreddit. The Reddit Outdoors subreddit. Right? Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, this episode of The Rock Fight is presented by Oboes, who is helping us ask the question, how do I love hiking? Let me count the ways. And actually, maybe someday this person will like the pair of Oboes at some point. They should check them out.
I went for a run. I went for a run right before this podcast in my Oboes catabatics, by the way.
How'd that go?
They're really good running shoes.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised.
I still haven't run them.
No, I was like, you know what, I'll give them a go. And they were great.
So on today's list of how do we like to go hiking, number one, the eternal mystery of trail markers. Did I miss the turn? Am I still in the right path? Is this a bear den? You don't always know, you know?
Are there markers that say bear den?
That would be, here it is, arrow. There's a bear.
Would you look in there? Would you be more inclined to look in there or less inclined?
I'd be really tempted. If it was, you know, if you could kind of see a little light in there and it wasn't like pitch black and you kind of like know if I could like just poke my head in and kind of see, would you look? Would you go looking?
No. I would. No. Would I? Gosh. I'd like to so much because I feel like a bear in a den is like probably one of the most snuggly, coziest things you could ever see.
And while it's gutting you,
yeah. It wasn't worth it.
I got to see the bear den. Number two, new definitions of close. Oh, the campsite's only 3 more miles.
Isn't it weird?
Uphill.
Isn't it weird how 2 miles is both nothing and the furthest that anything could ever be?
Right.
There's sometimes you're like 2 miles, dude, we're there, and then it's like, oh, it may as well be on Saturn.
Especially when you're going back to your car, when it's just like, and you're just done, and all you want to do is be not on the trail anymore.
I feel that's actually interesting. I think it might be. I have to think about it. I think it might be worse if it's to your first campsite for the night, like you're on a multi-day backpacking trip. And like, fuck. You know, but like at least in your car.
You started at home, you drove, you did all that stuff,
like,
and I was like, oh, this day will never end.
This is a bad idea. But at least your car, you know, you can like, you know, cruise in and like listen to the Rock Fight podcast on your radio, and you're all good to go.
So that's good advice right there. And number 3, the smell of pine after the rain. It's nature's version of an expensive
candle.
But
it's free.
And free.
Yeah, it's a good smell.
It smells lovely.
It's a real good smell.
Number 4, hiking means, Justin Housman knows this, the Oboes Catabatic collection, which has added the all-new Catabatic LT, which takes the whole collection
Lawrence
to a new level.
That's weird that he has his own Oboes.
I'm so glad you said Lawrence Taylor, not LaDainian Tomlinson.
Is he alive?
Thank you. He should have been. Yeah, I think so. Why didn't LaDainian Tomlinson go by LDT? You're LaDainian Tomlinson.
He did go by LT.
There was already an LT.
Probably because of that, he wanted to supersede.
But he's Lawrence Taylor, man. You can't also be LT.
I wouldn't want to. I mean, there's a few people in the world I'd want to like anger less than Lawrence Taylor.
Sonny Garcia and Lawrence Taylor, are those the two?
Pretty terrifying bros.
That's it, yeah. So the Catabatic LT, it takes the whole collection to a new level with a lighter package, improved performance, and additional environmentally friendly materials. You got fast packing, day hiking, according to Justin, trail running, whatever you're fancy, the Catabatic LT is your hiking shoe of choice. And 5, for every hike completed over a mile long during the month of April, Oboes will plant a tree as part of its Trails for Trees challenge. For each hike completed, participants will also receive chances to win weekly prizes from Oboes and challenge partners. Registration is free and open now at trailsfortree.com. It runs from April 1st to April 30th. Free to register at any time. You can complete as many hikes as you want on any given day, as long as each of them exceeds a mile. So sign up for that. And thanks, Oboes. We love hiking. It's time for a parting shot. All right, for my parting shot today, we got an email from an alert listener in Missoula. And Justin, our beloved Bedrock sandals are under threat. Apparently, footwear brand Lems has launched a Bedrock ripoff called the Switchback sandal that looks uncannily like our favorite shoe. There's a link there if you want to check it out. I knew of Lems, I knew of them, but I don't know much about them. So I replied to this listener and said, ask what he thought of Lems, and he responded, Lems is like that lame cousin we all have, doesn't do shit, and always shows up at family gatherings. So not a huge endorsement of Lems from this individual. Now, this listener is based in Montana and Missoula, and they might be a little biased, but so am I. So I want to speak directly right now to the folks at Lems. So if anyone out there is at Lems or you know someone at Lems, feel free to share this. Guys, I understand Lems. Being original is hard. It's hard to come up with new ideas, but look, I need you to move on from this sandal gambit right now, okay? Bedrocks are sacred ground around here. So you listen to me, Lems. You listen to me. You take your lame copycat sandal and get the fuck out of here. Get going. We don't want you. We don't want what you're peddling. Bedrocks forever. That's my parting shot.
Have you ever had Lems?
No, I didn't really. I mean, I think I knew of them. Have you had Lems?
Yeah, when they first came out. I kind of.
Oh, are you a fan? Am I insulting a brand?
No. I was a fan of the shoes. They were pretty comfortable. They were cool. You could like roll up. They were like booty, sort of high tops.
Cross the line.
All right, yeah. I'm not going to look at the links. I don't want to get too mad. I love Bedrock so much. I don't want.
They look like Bedrock.
I can't have infringement on my watch.
That's what I'm saying. Like you cross the line, Lems. I'm out.
Hey, Colin, you said something interesting to me a minute ago, which was it's 19 days until Easter. How did you know that?
Because we were talking about it earlier today, what day Easter was.
Okay.
That's why
because you probably were confused, right?
About why it's not the same day every single year.
That's my parting shot. I get that, that's a religious thing and it depends on like a whole bunch of different things. But you know what? It's made up anyway.
Well, do you want to know? It's so funny you bring this up, not to step on your parting shot, but we did a little research today. It's based off of like the vernal equinox and when it occurs and which month. And so it's based off of when that, and that changes every year. So it's based off of probably the pagans who are worshiping, like earth, dirt worshipers or whatever.
Yeah. Dirt worshipers.
It's like, if you're making this thing about the death of Jesus Christ, well, didn't he die on a day? So
that's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying. Like it's fine. Like like if you're gonna be like ultra religious about stuff, great.
Yeah.
That's fine. But when it's this thing that we've like separated from all of that, and it's just like I got to think about what my kids are doing and when they're doing it, and like it used to have some relation to like when spring break was, but I don't think it really does anymore. Like
I think it was like in March last year.
I'm really confused. I know at some point this month my girls are off for a week. I don't think it has anything to do with Easter, but it used to be because when I was a kid it was called Easter vacation, not spring break. I don't know when Easter is. My daughter just came into my office going, I want to hide these Easter eggs in here. I'm like, did it happen yet? Is it tomorrow? I have no idea. And again, it's fine if you want to celebrate your religion on your whatever day you want to celebrate it. I don't care. But it's superseded that. It's about selling chocolates to my kids now, and I need to know when to buy it. So stop it. It's you know what it is? It's April 1st every year. That's it.
There you go.
Or whatever.
Take over April Fool's Day.
Everybody, if they don't hate that, they should. Let's just do Easter on April 1st.
I'm with you on this.
Aye. Everyone in agreement say aye. Harper say aye.
Aye.
Harper loves it. So we're doing it on April 1st now.
Yeah, I co-sign that. It's like I'm with you. Don't make it more confusing.
Nobody wants it.
No. It's like I know when Halloween is. I know when Christmas is. Or you could do it Thanksgiving style, like for Thursday.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like
I can predict that. I don't love that. I don't love it as much because even that a little bit.
But at least it's consistent then.
But I get a little bummed too with that one because it's like is it the 21st? Is it the 28th? It could be I don't know.
Oh, and then it can really screw with your holiday season too. It's like good, I have a whole extra week.
Yeah, sometimes
of Christmas music.
Yeah, no, same day all the time.
That's pretty good.
Thanksgiving is always on November 27th from now on.
I would be down for that too. Right? Can we get rid of daylight savings?
No.
Do we want daylight savings?
We love daylight savings because it's light until 9 pretty soon. And I can do stuff after work. Why would you not want that?
We want to establish it full time.
They tried that in China once. It didn't really work out where they were just like they stopped taking into account like time zones and like where the sun rises and sets at different points in the country. But like God, it needs to be light until 9 o'clock every day. I don't know, just figure it out. World. Figure it out.
I don't know if they can do that. I mean the earth does turn and shit,
It's not. That's all fake. It's not turning. You can't turn a flat surface.
It's true. A disc. All right, that's the show. Justin has to go hang with his kids, so we're going to get out of here. We want your emails. Send them to myrockfight@gmail.com. The Rock Fight's a production of Rock Fight LLC. For Justin Housman, I'm Colin True. Thanks for listening. And he's here every time on the show. We don't need to mess with his schedule. Krista Makes always comes in to sing the Rock Fight fight song, and he's going to sing it for you right now. We'll see you next time, Rock Fighters.
Peace out.
Rock fight.